Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? It is Thursday. Why am I trying to say September? No, Thursday, January 15th, 2026. And we are literally 15 days into the new year, and we already have shenanigans going on with the world, okay, with some news. So, what I like to do during the week is look at some crazy news stories. You know how we're all in the habit of just scrolling. We like to scroll. So, hey, I'm not exempt to that. So, when I'm on YouTube sometimes, or if I'm on Instagram, TikTok, what have you, I sometimes just check out the most bizarre news stories. And you know what I've decided to do more recently is try to do some live long form videos to just do some commentary on those bizarre news stories, because when you think people just can't get any lower, or when you think people just can't shock you or surprise you, or I don't know, there's just so much going on. So I want to kind of get into it. We're gonna watch some videos. I'm gonna do a little bit of commentary, and we're just going to just relax, okay? I'm trying to wind myself down so I can just be calm, be chill. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. Don't be shy. Put some comments in the comment section. Let me know how you're doing. This is a safe space. We are a great community, but let's get to it, okay? Because there's some really crazy stuff going on. So let me see if I can go to the full screen on this. Okay, so I think I did watch this whole video, but this is a video about two parents. And I say parents very, very loosely. Two people who had twin children, and they did some really despicable, harmful things to these precious twin babies. So we're going to spend a couple minutes and just check out what happened and shake our dang heads at the same time.
Twin babies found starving, and two parents are now behind bars. This couple from Seminole County is accused of child neglect after their 5-month-old children were found malnourished. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay joins us live from Seminole County with that story. So, Chris, who discovered the babies were this sick?
Well, the kid's mother found one of them unresponsive, so she rushed them to the hospital while the father performed mouth to mouth. From there, DCF looked into why the children were sick.
The court also orders absolutely no contact either directly or indirectly by any means whatsoever.
A mother loses the right to see her twin 5-month-old babies.
5 months old.
After they were allegedly found severely neglected, clinging to life. 23-year-old Madison Smith and her boyfriend, 24-year-old Leroy Summersall III, have a baby girl and boy who were taken to the hospital. This arrest report says the babies were malnourished, their bones showing. One of them was unresponsive, the other life-flighted to the children's hospital with issues breathing. According to detectives, one of them weighed less than 6 pounds.
5 months old, and they weighed less than 6 pounds? Ah, these poor babies. 5 months. At 5 months, they should be at least 17 pounds, at least.
Lower weight than the day they were born. Summersall and Smith allegedly told detectives a doctor told them back in September to give the newborn 70 to 80 milliliters of formula every 2 hours. That's less than 3 ounces. According to this report, the parents admitted to not knowing the babies needed more formula as they got older, saying their doctor didn't tell them that. According to John Hopkins, a 5-month-old baby should have 6 to 7 ounces of formula per feeding. Detectives searched the property and didn't find any formula at all, not even in the trash can. Both appeared in court Tuesday, charged with 2 counts of child neglect with great bodily harm.
I am going to set a bond in each of these counts in the amount of $50,000.
They'll each have to post $100,000 to get out.
Good. This is shocking. Like, there's so many different programs, pantries, food services right now that can help these parents get formula. You know, like what were they so preoccupied doing rather than feeding their kids? I just want to know. I mean, is there some psychological impairments going on with this couple? You know, dang, it's just so sad. They did not say if the father was not able to have contact with the kids, but they did say that the mother, absolutely under no circumstances can the mother have any contact with the kids. I'm not sure why they differentiated that, or if they did say the dad could have contact and I just missed that part.
Both of the children are expected to survive.
Thank
However,
God.
they're still being monitored to see if there's any sort of lasting neurological effects. Reporting live in Seminole County, Chris Lindsay, Fox 35 News.
Twin babies found starving.
Now, before we go on to the next story, I just want to comment on this. Hey, AT2. Hi. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. But I don't know if you all are aware of this, but there have been studies done, to my knowledge and to my understanding, that once an infant experiences that type of severe hunger and malnourishment, that feeling stays with them. And it results in them either having, some severe food issues, such as like childhood hoarding, because they have that feeling of starvation. It just doesn't go away. It does something to them physiologically, neurologically, as the news reporter said, and that feeling of starving hunger stays with them. And for babies, hunger is painful. It's wrenching, it's aching, it's insufferable, for babies, for infants in particular. So this is something that these kids are going to need a lot of rehab, a lot of support, even as infants, and they're going to definitely need some preventative and early intervention services. Now I'm talking a little bit clinical here, but anyway, it's just my love. Okay, I love kids, but yeah, it's now that's part of the reason that this is sad. The silver lining in this is thank God that they are expected to survive. But this kind of makes me mad. Okay. Now let me just look. I said we're gonna just stay chill and have a good time. But this kind of foolery, this kind of stuff with innocent kids, this is the kind of stuff that makes me mad. Now let's balance ourselves out a little bit, okay? Because I feel like we need some ebbs and flows. So let's get off of the bad stuff for a little bit, and we're gonna look at a different kind of story, and then we're gonna get back to the nitty gritty. All right. So let me go here. When I saw this story, it really touched my heart and soul to the core. I was literally in tears, and we're going to watch it maybe just watch it one time. But you tell me what you think about this video. Now, this is video number 2. I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep track, because I have a couple of them like kind of lined up. But this is video number 2, and this one, okay, this is the headline says a son breaks down after realizing how much their father provides compared to the father's own childhood. So here we go. Let's watch.
Move one step forward if you've had a dad that signs your permission slips and forms from school.
Let go?
You don't have to, if you can still reach, you don't have to let go. Move one step forward if you've had a dad that is willing to leave work to come take care of you. Move one step forward if you've had a dad that makes sure that you are clothed and have your shoes on and ready for school every morning. Move one step forward if you have had a dad to make sure that you've had more than 2 pairs of shoes by the time you were 7.
Look how the sun looks back. Oh,
Move one step forward if you've had a dad to tell you that they love you every day. I'll turn around and say, thank you, Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
Dad didn't take any steps. I'm sad.
Move
poor
one
little
step
guy.
forward.
Poor little guy. What do you guys think of that? Oh my God. That one really touched my heart. Oh, that little boy. And the dad was like, what you crying for? What you crying for? Isn't that like a typical dad? What you crying for? Man up, toughen up. But the child realizes like, dang, Dad, you didn't even have nobody to buy you a pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like speaking for him and everything, but that one really touched my soul, like to the core. I thought that was, it's just such a good lesson. Like, fathers are needed. Black fathers are so valuable. Okay, all fathers are valuable, but you know, I will say it again, Black fathers are so, so valuable. I'm thankful that I have my dad in my life. You know, I'm thankful that I have had my grandfather in my life because, man, who would I even be without that guidance, without that wisdom, without that love, affection, and, you know, just everything that our dads do for us. Anyway, not to be on a soapbox because this is true crime, bizarre news. Yes, it's crazy, crazy stuff. All right, so we got our little tearjerker out. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now this one is really, really, really crazy. I'm going to play just a couple of minutes of this one because we already talked about the breakout story when this came out. I believe it was last Friday. About this man. His name was Jeremy Gerlach or something like that. I don't remember his name. His name doesn't even matter because he's a sick and twisted human being, in my opinion. And these videos are just being reviewed for entertainment purposes only, not to have any copyright infringements or anything like that. I think I have to say that. But anyhow, we're going to watch a couple minutes of this video, and then we're going to watch the next one, which is what I want to kind of bring in and tie them together because there's something suspicious going on. And I'm kind of scared to talk about it. But again, I feel like it's just happening just in the broad daylight and all across the world, it seems. And so this thing is called organ harvesting, or, you know, bone collectors, or whatever they're called. So let's get into it, shall we? Yes, we shall. Thank you.
None of them have ever seen anything like this before.
A tip about a disturbing basement display straight out of a horror movie.
led police to a discovery so extreme that investigators say it was a real-life horror film. Hundreds of human skulls and skeletal remains allegedly taken from desecrated graves. Authorities say the evidence points to an online market for human bones and to 34-year-old Jonathan Gerlach, accused of turning the dead into a collection. We're on the
Jonathan Gerlach. That's his name. I believe he's still in custody right now.
The case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Hey guys, real quick, I want to talk about something that frankly is scary to talk about. And it's not being there for your family. It is something that may cross your mind when you cover or consume true crime content, because we do see the scary realities of what can happen. Life insurance, it can be uncomfortable. TC, that is meetfabric.com.
Sorry, I don't want to listen to that ad. Thank you.
Side Philadelphia. Police say starting in November, right after Halloween, someone began breaking in, but it wasn't to steal jewelry or valuables. Now, we have seen that happen in cemeteries before. It's always despicable, but this case is different because this person was allegedly stealing the dead. According to police, mausoleums and underground vaults, some holding remains over a century old, they were smashed open and emptied over the course of.
Long story short, this individual, Jonathan Gerlach, used different types of tools, crowbars and such to break into graves. He robbed over 100 plus graves, some of them being infant children, some of them being graves that were over 200 years old. He would take the bones, he would take the skulls, he would, take the remains, desecrate them or what have you. He would take them back to his apartment where he had a roommate. There still hasn't been a lot discussed about that roommate and what his part in all of this is. But he would take them back to his apartment. There were reports that he had like hundreds of flies, like his neighbors would see hundreds of flies like on the inside of his window, because the house and the basement, they contained corpses. You know what I'm saying? Is that the right words? Bones from people's graves. He's the real life grave robber, and he's a real life bone broker or whatever they call it. I think is a bone broker, bone harvester. What did I say before? Grave robber, but there was another word that they call it. They say this guy had a literal house of horrors. Okay. They said that he was storing bodies in his home and in his storage unit. And then he was going online to this Facebook group and selling the remains on Facebook to people who wanted different things: skulls, bones, skin. He got sentenced to, he got incarcerated, but his bail was set to, I think, $1 million. They said he had over 100 remains in his house, and then they were hanging from the ceiling. These bodies. And so that brings me to the next video, because what question that I really wanted to pose is that, is this like really something that is happening? I particularly believe that it is. But we have this other incident with this other guy. Now, this was a Black man that was in a psychiatric hospital, and he actually, it says that he was a patient. He became frantic and he escaped from his unit because he was terrified. He felt like he was being sedated and put into some kind of procurement. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. He felt like he was being placed at risk for his organs being involuntarily snatched from his body. I like to say snatched. And so he was afraid for his life, you know, and so this is what this video is about. Let's see if, and his name was, they're going to say it in this video. I forget what his name was, but this one is not necessarily a new story. This one is kind of older. His name is Mark Delcourt. He said that he heard people saying he doesn't have any family. Let's start tonight. Like, what the heck? So they're victimizing these patients even more because they don't think that the patients have family that will come and ask questions and be concerned. The humane part of myself just doesn't let my mind kind of wrap itself around that this could definitely be truly happening. You know, but then the other part of my mind is like, well, if this is being reported, if it's not fake news now, because there's a lot of that too, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think it happened.
Behind a false wall, they discovered a secret room containing 6 unregistered medical refrigerators and 28 files marked with a red X. The American public is in shock. A hospital, supposedly the safest place, suddenly appears to be the most dangerous for patients without family by their side. Shocking news. A 42-year-old mechanic escaped from a hospital in the northern United States in a state of panic, shouting, "They want to take my organs." At first, police believed he was delirious after a minor accident, but 2 hours later, a raid changed everything. The man, Mark Delcourt, was admitted for a minor injury, but his file had been altered to irrecoverable, and he was moved to a technical/maintenance wing. The doors were locked. The cameras were turned away. Mark heard 2 people whispering, "No family, we start tonight." In panic, he ripped out his IV, crawled into a ventilation duct, and escaped. Police thought he was still panicking, but Mark insisted there are more people alive in there. At 0047, a special tactical unit raided the basement. They found 4 patients strapped down, one lying on a table next to a tray of surgical tools stained with dried blood. Behind a false wall, they discovered a secret room containing 6 unregistered medical refrigerators and 28 files marked with a red X. The American public is in shock. A hospital, supposedly the safest place, suddenly appears to be the most dangerous for patients without family by their side. Shocking news. A 42-year-old mechanic escaped from a hospital in the north.
Mark Delcourt? This person in the comment says, as a healthcare worker, I believe him. More investigation is needed. They're quick to say that you are mentally ill, and family does not leave the hospital beds when loved one is in the hospital. I can attest to that last sentence. Okay, my grandma has been hospitalized a couple of times. I only will leave literally if someone else is there and going to remain there with her until I return. Like, hands down, I don't play around like that. Same thing with my grandpa before he passed. I was there. My grandma was there. I broke all the hospital rules when my grandma was there. They said no patients be there past 8 p.m. Kick me out because I'm going to stay the night. And yes, I have an overnight bag with me because I need my essentials if I'm going to stay somewhere not at my own home. Thank you. I don't play that. I do not play that. Look at my ghetto coming out. It says they've been doing this to Black people and minorities for years, even in your local hospital. Thank God he escaped and reported it to authorities. I believe him. They've been telling us this for years. This was in New York. My husband checked to see if it was fake news. Oh, let's see. Do not put donor on your driver license. This commenter says, I believe it. Nothing surprises me any more about this world anymore. I know that's right. Where did you find this info? Because I can't find anything except TikTok, Facebook, and Insta. So yeah, I don't know if this is fake news, but it's concerning. It says the story concerning Markdale Court is on several different media outlets. It's unfortunate that the name of the hospital is not being released. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just do a quick little search here and see what comes of Markdale Court. Just for honestly, let's see. Markdale Court escaping from hospital. I don't know if we're spelling his name right. Is it a real story or a fake story? Is the Markdale Court hospital escape story real or fake? Viral footage claim is debunked. Okay, so that might have just been fake news. The news reporter stated in the clip that Mark was hospitalized after a minor accident. However, his file was altered to irrecoverable, and he was what are you doing on here, guy? We're not talking about you, sir. It says the escape video of Markdale Court is going viral on the internet for Unversed. The footage showed the man running away from the hospital in a gown and screaming. The 42-year-old mechanic was reportedly in a hospital in northern U.S. So this is still not telling me if it was fake. 6 unregistered medical refrigerators were supposedly found behind a false wall. Officers also seemingly found 28 files marked with it. So they're just regurgitating what the story said. Creepy pasta story. Child, this has nothing to do with what. Okay, so maybe that particular story is fake, but the grave robber story is not fake. Go to the next one. This one, I don't know if I watched this. I think I did watch this whole thing. So let's see what these guys are talking about. This one says 2 bums. Okay. Is that bad? 2 people who were not wise, who did not use critical thinking skills, utilized some fake cash at In-N-Out. I never even knew that was still a thing. Like having people kind of graduated from these lower level thinking types of deals with counterfeit bills. Like, don't they know? Apparently not. So let's check out what these 2 unwise persons
caught after passing fake cash. Hitting up now at 8:30. 2 suspects are caught after passing fake cash, hitting up multiple In-N-Out burger locations across California.
Multiple government agencies were bust and police on. Let's go live to Fox 7's Laura Diaz. Law enforcement officers got their suspects. Laura.
Well, Marla and Christine, it all started right here at this In-N-Out in Glendale, and it was because of one employee who happened to be paying attention and noticed that the $100 bill that had been used earlier appeared to be fake. Well, they called the authorities. The authorities checked it out, and it tipped off an investigation. They now think as many as more than a dozen In-N-Outs were targeted by this duo. Let's listen.
Passing off that fake $100 bill for one small item, $97, $96.
Look, I just want to see the pictures of these 2 people. Like that will tell you so much of what you need and want to know just by looking at their little fooly pictures.
Real cash in return.
Oh my God, 2 crazy cats are fighting outside my window.
Quickly, our investigators realized from coordinating and talking to In-N-Out Security that they have fallen victim to this countless times throughout the county.
I would say that's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
That's really
Honestly,
crazy.
a few
And, like,
months.
especially like, I don't know, 2026 starting off with scams, like,
Yeah.
it's got to
We have to do better.
Everyone has to do better.
Good point. Everyone needs to do better. Well, this image shows one of the 2 female suspects off of surveillance video supplied to the Glendale Police Department. She wears pink pants and has law enforcement seen red today. She and another female suspect both are out of Long Beach, and they have been arrested. Names are Oriana Lewis and Tatiana Foster, according to the police department. Now, when investigators say that they were using fake $100 bills, you see that fake currency right here used in the investigation. Now, if you look very closely, you may have to look twice, you'll see that the serial numbers are the same on all the bills. Of course, that's a big tip off.
Okay, wow. That's a nice In-N-Out. I want to go to that In-N-Out. It's in Glendale? Wow. That looks like a buzzing place right there. Shout out to In-N-Out. I think they're only in California.
Now, the investigation spans nearly every county in Southern California. More than a dozen In-N-Outs were targeted, including LA, Cerritos, and Fullerton, just to name a few. But coming back live here to Glendale, so far we have not spoken to anybody at In-N-Out except over the telephone. They were not supplying a lot of information to us. I will come back to you live again at 9 and 10 to give you more information on the case. But you know, hats off to that young person inside of there who had the good realization that something didn't look right and then called authorities. Police telling me that sometimes when it's just $100, people say, what the heck, let's not phone it in. But if you keep adding up those phony $100 bills, as police allege, it adds up to a substantial amount of money. I'm Laura Diaz reporting live from Glendale, sending it back to you two.
So obviously they did this investigation and tied it to the In-N-Out restaurants. I gotta wonder if there are other locations involved here, to other kind of businesses.
Well, they think that the investigation is pretty much over, but Christine, I agree with you. I think this happens at a lot of businesses. So really, there is a word of caution to all of us to be very careful when someone hands you a $100 bill, especially when they're purchasing something $3, $2, less than $5. You might want to think why they're using such a big bill to buy a low ticket item. It should cause your antenna to go up.
And you too, Christine, whether it's at a local pharmacy like CVS or a grocery store, they check the $100 bills.
Right. You have to be vigilant, especially the.
Okay, that's that one. So I really was hoping that they would show the suspects' faces because literally that tells you everything you need to know. But they didn't. So we're going to go to the next one. This is, okay, this right here, this kind of thing makes me, I haven't even watched this full video yet, because I wanted to kind of do a reaction with this video that I'm doing here. But where are the parents? That's like my first question. It says a toddler was caught in the middle of the road and was rescued by a complete stranger. So let's see what happened here. And again, I just look at these videos. They come across my screen. I scroll and I think, oh, okay, this would be something maybe good to show or talk about. So that's where all these collections of videos are coming from.
First tonight, the video you will only see on WESH 2 showing 2 toddlers walking across A1A in Brevard County. This is a dangerous road that
I didn't know it was 2 toddlers. Oh, I thought it was just 1.
has seen several deadly accidents involving vehicles and pedestrians.
But one man saw what was happening and managed to get the kids to safety. WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown is here with the exclusive interview. Gail.
Yeah, the parents and children have long gone, but they won't soon forget what happened yesterday in Brevard County. This story could have gone terribly wrong, but John Brittingham saved the day. Look at this. John Brittingham stops traffic with one hand and scoops up 2 toddlers along busy A1A Sunday in Brevard County.
I was terrified. If anything would have happened to him, my rest of my life would have been ruined.
John was driving home southbound on A1A when he noticed 2 little girls in the middle of the road.
So I immediately pulled over there, and I ran out of the car, and one of them was already to the middle of the road, and I grabbed that one first, and then the second one I just picked up. She was ready, and I got him off the road. Took like maybe 6 seconds.
It had to be the most terrifying 6 seconds of his life.
My adrenaline spiked. I had a migraine when I finally got home. I was drained completely for the rest of the day.
This exclusive dash cam video is from his vehicle's front and rear cameras.
You can see in the dash cam, she put her little arms up, and I was like, oh my God, how adorable.
He then went looking for their parents, found this Airbnb, knocked on the door, but no one answered.
So I went all around that house, and no one seemed to hear me yelling, like that I was calling for someone to see if anybody knew, because the girls weren't telling me anything. They were about maybe 2 years old or younger, and all they could do was point to things and say, ah.
Finally, he looked in the back gate, which he says was open. He adds, that's how the children got out, and parents were clueless they're gone.
Little girl, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm just glad I could get them back to you. And they were out in the road, and your gate was open.
John did not call police.
My main concern was to reunite them, and by that time I was, glad that they were with their parents.
Bottom line, John says, you have to watch 5. They're grown now, and kids. West 2 contacted Cocoa Beach Police and the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. Cocoa Beach is in. Back to you, Michelle.
Wow. That could have ended very, very badly. It's like, thank God that those people that were driving kind of like stopped and recognized that there was an unsafe situation with 2 kids in the middle of the street. Dang, God. I mean, I don't want to bash the parents because, parenting is very, very hard. All I can say is it's very important to keep a 100% line of sight on your kids in those kinds of situations, like at all times, because you never know what could happen. Like, you need to know where your kids are at all times. Like, right? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. This next news story says that a homeowner was arrested. Oh my God. Okay, this is one that is just, talk about bizarre. Talk about, ooh. Okay, let's just watch it. Ooh, talk about just crazy. Guys. No.
Sight of rats does not freak you out, because we're going to bring you a very disgusting case of animal hoarding.
Disgusting.
An entire home in Suffolk County completely overrun by hundreds of rats that were being kept as pets. And if you don't like the sight of rats, you may want to look away during this next story.
Officials found the rats running rampant throughout the home. In the end, police arrested the 48-year-old homeowner, but now they're trying to figure out what to do with all the animals.
Seriously, what do you do with all the animals? Long Island reporter Shantae Lance is live in Rocky Point. Shantae?
Well, Liz and David, at least
they have the nerve to put a black news reporter in front of that house. Okay, let's get back to it.
300 domesticated rats are believed to be inside this home. Volunteers say 100 to 200 of them alone are inside.
Hi, Jack. Guess who's back in the house? How you doing? Mwah. Gross.
The walls.
Oh my God.
From spilling out of the kitchen cabinet to overrunning every inch of the floor. Pet rats
Hi, little stinker.
Hundreds of them running amok inside this Rocky Point home.
It's a disaster inside. It's very hard to breathe. You need, masks. You need gloves. It's just a bad situation.
Frankie Floridia and other volunteers with Strong Island Animal Rescue have been capturing as many rats as they can to send to a vet to get proper care and checked out.
A lot of them are injured. A lot of them have huge wounds. Their eyes are coming out. They have big abscesses. We have a few that are going septic.
Kristen Stevens is a volunteer and a veterinarian tech assisting inside the now condemned home on Whitewood Drive.
We've got about 150 contained. Have them in separate containers, male, female, sick.
There's maybe another 100 to 200 in the walls.
The owner received sanitation violations after an estimated total of 300 to 500 domesticated rats were believed to be inside the home.
It's a very sad situation, but we're doing the best we can with what we have.
A team of 5 to 10 volunteers found rat poison in the basement.
We have seen a couple that have had blood coming from their nose, that kind of thing, which is what happens when you poison rats.
Stevens says all of the rats are being treated for mites. She says this could have been avoided through rat separation.
Everybody knows rodents reproduce very, very quickly. So I personally feel that, if they were just separated, you keep the males with the males and the females with the
Have
females.
hundreds of rats in the home, period. Much, who's so concerned about separating the males and separating the females? Don't have that many rats as pets. Come on. I mean, oh my God. And they're in the wall. They're in the walls. Okay. Let me just say this. Okay. I know some people really suffer from psychological illness, mental impairments, things like that. That does not take away from the fact that this right here is absolutely horrible and disgusting. I'm just saying. The vet tech said that there were some of the rats that had their eyes that were falling out. They had abscesses on their, you know what I'm saying? This is not good, man.
But it also gives us a glimmer of hope that we know that we can get them to safety.
And I spoke with neighbors who say they didn't see or smell anything. So it was really contained to this home. Now volunteers are looking for Good Samaritans to offer foster care and also monetary donations to help with.
So foster care applies to rats now?
The rodents' health care. Live in Rocky Point, Shantae Lands, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Done. Done. Okay. I didn't watch this one. This says a man that was accused of scheming, scamming, doing some fraudulent activities, to women across the state of Tennessee. So let's see. Please don't be Black. Please don't be Black. And I would have really liked to see the person that had all the rats in their house, just to see what they look like. Because again, you can tell a lot from a person by how they look. You can tell a lot from just looking in their eyes and seeing what's happening. Is there life there? You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. So let's just check this out.
I lost my retirement plan because of him. And how do you let this happen to you? It's an embarrassing thing.
Tonight, a woman claims to be out nearly $2 million. The alleged victim of a man at the...
He's Black and he's got a funny looking smirk on his face. This is embarrassing.
Center of a multi-theft case across the state of Tennessee. Good evening and welcome to News 2 Now at 10. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. News 2's Kelly Milan has been reviewing the records and spoke with a woman who says her life was turned upside down.
A woman in Nashville filed a lawsuit against Danielle Raynell Martin after she put more than $300,000 in personal cash and credit based on what she says were false representations. The judge ultimately ruled Martin to pay more than $1 million. According to multiple women who spoke to News 2, they describe a similar pattern, saying Martin would get close with them and then ask to start a business, later telling them to just trust me, I know what I'm doing, and later warn them what goes around comes around. News 2 spoke with Jessica Reynolds, who says she entered into both a personal and professional relationship with Martin. One, she says, ended with staggering financial consequences.
He had me in like $2 million in debt at the time.
Reynolds says over a span of 5 years, Martin persuaded her to purchase 8 properties, all in her name. He promised repayment and profitable home renovations. She says neither came to pass.
I'm a real estate agent. I know that I'm a smart woman. You question, how do you let this happen to you? It's an embarrassing thing.
Reynolds is not alone. News 2 found court documents show Martin has been indicted by grand juries in at least 3 different Tennessee counties: Franklin, Moore, and Marshall, all separate cases. In Franklin County, a 2024 grand jury indictment alleges Martin unlawfully obtained between $60,000 to $250,000 in U.S. currency from an elderly woman. In Moore County, a separate indictment accuses Martin of theft involving construction-related materials valued between $10,000 and $60,000. Marshall County, a grand jury returned multiple felony counts alleging the fraudulent use of a credit card or debit card, transactions totaling between $2,500 and $10,000.
It's a lot of work, juggled 2 and 3 jobs. I lost my retirement plan because of him.
Reynolds says he is free, still out there, worried another woman is going to have to go through the pain she did.
When does it stop? He's still out preying on women now.
Bob and Haley, we tried reaching out to Danielle Raynell Martin himself, but did not receive a response at this time. Reynolds says she is now working with an attorney and plans to press charges. Back to you.
Thank you, Kelly. Now, Martin is scheduled to appear in Circuit Criminal Court in County on February 8th.
Low down, dirty.
You guys, what up here?
We are not going to be watching Shannon Sharpe. Thank you. Okay, now this one I have not seen yet, but this one is one of the sad ones. My thing is tripping. It says a mom was literally unalived in her own bed. I mean, oh my God. Mom of 3, powed 10 times in her bed with her kids in Orange County, California. Oh my God, you guys.
Well, 2 years after a deadly shooting, the court case moves forward for the suspected accomplice of what deputies say was a staged home invasion murder. As well as David Jones reports, 2 men were arrested in an Orange County, others, and one has now been transferred into.
I want them to show the picture of the perp. Oh my gosh, Porsche Streeter.
Investigators say 30-year-old mother Porsche Streeter ran a hairdressing business from her apartment, which became a crime scene in January 2024. Deputies responded to find Streeter shot to death and her boyfriend, 32-year-old Son Range.
Oh my God. Now look at. Look at this fool. You see what I'm saying about all you have to do is see the picture of the criminal, and it'll tell you so many things that you need to know. Dead in the eyes, like completely dead in the eyes. No expression, just blank, like psychopath.
Jr., who was shot in his upper arm. A year and some change later, the Orange County Sheriff's Office arrested Range for the killing, saying he orchestrated the whole thing, along with Benjamin Garman, making it all look like a home invasion.
You're now in a situation where you are looking at life in prison.
Criminal defense attorney Trey Flynn, who's unassociated with the case, says the brutal nature of the killing elevates it.
This is a very, very, very serious crime. In this situation, Mr. Garman is alleged to have shot somebody not just one time, but 10 times. And what does that mean? That means there's an aggravation there in this sort of homicide case. You're not going to be able to claim self-defense in this sort of situation.
Absolutely
This
not.
new mugshot of Garman was
my
taken
God.
when he was transferred to Orange County custody. He was previously being held out of county on federal weapons charges.
Same here. Dead in the eyes. I mean, gone. These are the kind of people that absolutely, to me, in my opinion, have no remorse. You could just tell. Look at the eyes.
Charges, to which he pled guilty.
They executed the search warrants on a residence that he was at after the homicide took place. During that time, they located firearms in the residence, and the federal prosecutors felt, hey, as a convicted felon, as somebody possessing firearms, this is a case that is of interest of us.
Investigators allege Range and Garman set up the home invasion killing because of a custody dispute between Range and Streeter over their shared children. And because Range said Streeter was hiding money from him. David Jones, WESH 2 News.
Well, Garman's arraignment is scheduled for January 26th. We have reached out to the state attorney's office for an update on Range. Of course, we will let you know as soon as we hear back. For a deadly
These folks really okay. Now, so to 2026's defense, that particular crime happened in, I think they said 2024. And so they're now going to have the arraignment hearing for the suspects. Okay, now this one. Okay, let's lighten the mood a little bit. Okay, this is a serious kind of I don't want to say sad story, but it's kind of like bittersweet, because you have the bitter thing that happened, and then you kind of have like the sweet karmic retribution. Okay, just watch.
That breaking news from the 7 investigators. A local judge accused of making racist and homophobic comments is vacating her position after being removed from her docket more than a year ago.
It's a story the 7 investigators first broke in September of 2024. 7 investigator Heather Catallo is here with what she has learned.
This has been a long process. You'll recall we revealed recordings of Judge Kathleen Ryan making some shocking statements. Judge Ryan has essentially been on paid leave for 15 months and once described herself in those recordings as untouchable. The Judicial Tenure Commission has been investigating this for more than a year, but they did not take action against her. Her lawyers confirming to me late today that she is retiring, and the vacancy for her position has already been posted by the governor's office for potential candidates to apply for an appointment to the bench.
Good.
I can honestly say that. Okay, I'm not systemically racist. I'm a new racist.
The 7 investigators.
What is the difference between a systemic racist and a new racist? What's the difference? Racist is a racist is a racist is a racist.
Investigators were the first to reveal the recordings that Oakland County officials say prompted Judge Kathleen Ryan's removal from her docket in August of 2024.
Black. I'm so off at this Black Lives Matter, #Me Too. All this. Oh my God. Like, you.
On Wednesday, a judicial vacancy was posted on the State Bar website saying the former Oakland County Chief Probate Pro Tem Judge was vacating her position on the bench.
The Honorable Kathleen A. Ryan presiding. Good morning. You may be seated.
Ryan was a probate judge for 13 years until the Oakland County Probate Court administrator filed a complaint against her, alleging Ryan had been harassing him, calling him after hours for years, and making racist and other inappropriate comments.
I've never met anybody that enjoys hurting people and brags about it the way she does, or intimidating people, scaring people.
Hutton says his complaint was not acted on for months, so he then sent the recordings of his calls with Judge Ryan to state and county officials.
I just want to make it right. And I want the people in Oakland County that come to court to get a fair shake, to have their day in court, to have an unbiased trier of facts.
If you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of.
Judge Ryan has been paid for the last 15 months while she was out of the courthouse, and taxpayers have been footing the bill for visiting judges to handle her docket. Now her lawyers say she is retiring and leaving the bench.
Judicial Tenure Commission investigations are not public unless they reach the point of the JTC filing formal charges. Again, that did not happen in this case, so the results of that will not be made public. Now, meanwhile, I did speak with one of Judge Ryan's colleagues, Judge Daniel A. O'Brien. He said Judge Ryan was a good judge, and he expressed frustration that the court was left with visiting judges for so long while the JTC investigated, saying that really left a lot of cases not having continuity. So at least there's some resolution. She's retiring.
At least, and I'm sure a lot of people who have been in.
I mean, at the very least, okay. Kathleen Ryan, you absolutely have no honor. You should be so ashamed of yourself. And good riddance. Bye-bye. Let's look at the next one because we're moving on. Now this one, okay, I don't know. This one is kind of talking about the opioid crisis. I'm not really interested at this very moment. I have one more, I think. Yeah, one more little clip that I want to share tonight. And then we are literally going to kind of wrap it up. This one I found to be a little bit interesting, although I didn't watch the full news clip. It came out today. Okay, so one day ago, actually. Fox 10 News from Phoenix, Arizona. A teen was accused of unaliving his neighbor, living with the body in the backyard for weeks. Now, this is on the same scope with the Jonathan Gerlach. You know, kind of having a weird oddity of fascinations with goriness, with the unalived. You know what I'm just a warped, depraved, I would even dare to say reprobate mind to have the ability to do something so gruesome and grotesque. He's a teenager, so it begs the question of what the heck kind of life did he live before getting involved with something like this? I don't know if that's neither here nor there. I really don't. But let's see what the initial investigations can bring to light about the situation right here. Thank you. Bizarre. Like, that's why this is bizarre news, right? Can we say that again? I just want to emphasize why this is bizarre. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God. I can tell you just off the rip, substance use involved. Substance use, alcohol, something. Go ahead. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I don't know. Is this live? Anyway, let me back up out of here. Well, you all, we have looked. Am I in the live stream? Yes, I am. We have looked at some pretty crazy and bizarre stories tonight. I have finished my little glass of wine. I mean, there's not one. It smells good though. Is there one drop left? It tastes like grape juice. There was literally one drop left. The perfect way to close and end this little time that we had together. We've been here for an hour. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, listen, if you happen to come across any like bizarre stories that you want me to like talk about or look at or whatever, your pleasure, don't be shy. Send them to me. I'm going to put my email address here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'm going to put it up anyways. All right. Send them to me because I like true crime. And I like to do true crime and have wine. That, you know how some things just don't change? I've been on this platform since like 2020. And that particular thing has not changed. So I'm going to put my email up here. Again, if you have any interesting stories, anything spooky or bizarre or scary or cringy or just, you know what I'm saying? You saw kind of the scope of the stories that I kind of, showed tonight. Anything on that same level or more bizarre or freaky or anything, send them to me. Okay. Even if I'm not going to talk about them, they pique my interest. It was so good to see you too, Jack the Voice. Man, you are literally still doing your thing too. I see you doing your streaming with your gaming. So keep it up. You're doing a great job. And it's so good to see you always. Let me give a shout out to AT2, my friend. Okay. Thank you so much for showing up. Everyone who watched and didn't leave a comment, I appreciate you too. Everyone who's going to hopefully watch the replay. True Crime and Wine. Nice title for a segment. You know what I'm saying? That's literally all this is. I think I changed it to bizarre news because some of these things are just absolutely bizarre. But maybe I'll go back to true crime and wine, because literally that's what I'm doing. If I had a second glass, readily available, I might pour a second one, but I'm okay with just one. But anyway, as always, I really appreciate every single one of you who has, tuned in, leave a comment, of course, subscribe, watch this in other videos. Yeah, so I just will go ahead and say one or two things, and that is, don't forget to always be kind to yourselves and kind to others. Practice abundant self-care. Okay, Jack, I hear you. I hear you. Remember to smile at a stranger, because you never know when or if you're entertaining one of God's precious angels. It's a real thing, okay? Not the fallen angels. No. Because those mugs be walking around here too. I'm talking about one of God's chosen. So anyway, let me not stray off the path too much here. But thank you guys. I love you. Stay encouraged, and I will see you guys on the next, live stream. Bye.